Buongiorno, ciao. It is Saturday, August 27th, 2016. Shabbat Shalom, Sabbath peace. And I finished this, Under the Wings 64, Stormy Skies over Piedmont, memorial to the young anti-fascist partisan Sandro Delmastro of blessed memory. I began the work in, I think it was in early April, so I finished it yesterday, August 26th, so about 5 months' work. This is the 8th Mosaic-drawing combo of the Under the Wings series. I only have 2 more to do to fulfill my goal set back in 2001 when the very first one, A Young Man with Star of David armband in the Warsaw Ghetto, was exhibited at the Fry Art Museum in Seattle. And I set a goal, decided to do 9 more, kind of in a way fulfilling with kind of monumental, scaled, and complicated works what I didn't do in my 20s or 30s after college, which was to become a painter. I was a printmaker back then. And eventually I gave up printmaking, aside from woodcuts and lino cuts, but I stopped etching and took on drawing for years. Many drawings in the Under the Wings series actually have the look of etching and aquatint, so I guess I came full circle in a way. But the mosaic drawing combos were something else entirely. So I'll also do a quick note here. Ori Z. Soltis has a new book just out last month. Traditions and Transformations, might be reverse word, 3,000 years of Jewish art and architecture. And 2 of my works are in the book. One, Under the Wings drawing of Rachel Sirkin, a Parisian Jewish woman who was deported from Paris and murdered at Auschwitz. And Under the Mosaic series, Wings series, Mosaic drawing number 62, portraying my mother's grandmother, aka my great-grandmother, Zlata Barshevsky of Bialystok. And the color edition of the book is going to be out in about 5-6 months. The Sirkin work is black and white, but the mosaic drawing combo of my great-grandmother, Zlata Barshevsky, is in color, similar to this, but entirely different imagery, of course. Now I'm going to walk in, moving the chair with me, and just kind of do a overview, getting reflection. I'm going to just get overhead lights. There's no sun outside today, so I had to put the overheads on. But I'm going to do a kind of just a swoop clockwise around the mosaic. And then I will move the camera in closer to the drawing in the center. Those people who read Hebrew will notice a Hebrew letter in here, which happened unbeknownst to me. At the point when I realized it, I said, oh, what's that doing there? I actually decided to accentuate it in a tad with a couple of tiles and make it even more pronounced than it was. The rock here I brought all the way back from Bar in what was then southern Yugoslavia in 1985. Before the wars ripped Yugoslavia apart, and in a province or whatever region state called Montenegro. This was given to me by a former girlfriend from my graduate school years who had gone to Rome and gave this to me as a gift. It's this story about the founding of Rome. So it's this, I don't know, brass, probably metal, kind of like clamshell with this pig, boar, whatever. Because of the screws in there, you can't make out the the infants suckling there. Okay. Excuse the overhead light. The wing I drew at the Ornithology Lab at the Burke Museum of Natural History at the University of Washington in Seattle. The wing was from a teal, T-E-A-L type of duck, if my memory serves, from, I think it was from Argentina. These sheep, the seagull, seagulls here, seagull here, this kind of abstracted rocky cliff ledge drawings were sketched on a northeast coast hike with a friend, a British friend named David Atherton, north of Newborough, Scotland, in early March, mid-March 2015. This flower here was drawn on a hike with a friend named Rainer Waldman Atkins of Seattle. Flowering weed, Commonwealth Basin, Cascade Mountains, which are east of Seattle, 2009 hike. The bird was done in the same hike as was this plant here, with a kind of flowering buds. Same time I also drew these kind of snow-capped mountain peaks there. The fish here is titled Gran Paradiso Parco Nazionale Lago Arg Pese, an arg fish of the Great Paradise National Park. That's in northwest Italy in the Piedmont area. Sandro Delmastro and Primo Levi did major hikes and mountain climbing there. I didn't think to bring the postcard. I have a pre-World War II English postcard, like in sepia, monochromatic, that I reinterpreted the cow, a photo of a cow and a farmer from England. The two people seated was from took it from a sketchbook, a sketch I did at Seattle's Green Lake Park in April 1991. The protractor compass thingy was from a set of drafting tools of my mother's. During the World War II years, she worked as a draftsperson at Todd Shipyards in New York, which I'm sure was involved in the Allied war effort. Architectural sketch from an old encyclopedia engraving. I forget what the building was. It might be in Rome. Here we have I did a portrait of Vittorio Emanuele III, former King Re d'Italia. He makes a surprise visit with Buongiorno. The chicken, or rooster, I drew from one of my own sketches of a rooster, ink drawing. A lot of this rocky area here was from ink drawing I had done outside what's called the Big Four ice caves in the Cascade Mountains east of Seattle again. So there's the date on the Scottish hike, March 15, 2015, a few miles north of Newborough, Scotland. So in the photograph of Delmastro seated on this rocky pinnacle, his backpack is here, his hands are here. I've made a magic realism in terms of I've replaced his hands with a horse. He was extremely fond of horses, cattle, chickens, other farm animals, and so on. Encourage viewers to read Primo Levi's book, Il Sistema Periodico, in English, The Periodic Table, and the chapter Iron is about his friendship with his chemistry studies classmate, Sandro Delmastro. So I think I've covered everything that's in the drawing. And I'm going to do a short version here of this also, maybe 2-minute max. Some YouTube viewers don't seem to have patience to watch anything longer than like 2 or 3 minutes. So in the photograph of Delmastro, he's on this rock pinnacle ledge, thousands of feet below him. You can see the ground. I replaced the ground with sky on the left and lower left. But we have what he's seated on in terms of his bum in British English, his backside, his tochas in Yiddish, is here, the rocks. Voila. Whew. Major undertaking, and I'm so glad I'm done with it. I have about 8 months till I begin the 9th. So I've already selected photographs for the last 2 of the planned mosaic drawings. One is going to depict a victim of the Nazis' T4 capital punishment euthanasia program that oversaw the murder of several 100,000 mentally and or physically disabled German and Austrian Protestants and Catholics, and some Jewish people as well, who were institutionalized. And the other one is going to be a portrait of, well, I'll wait on that.